Alright guys, welcome back to Zando Football. Definitely appreciate the support. This video I was just going to give you a couple of games. I think I ran like 4, 5, 6 games in a row just now. And I want to show you how easy it can really be on defense. And I'll just do defensive analysis. I don't want to say like 95% of the plays that I picked was cover 3 match. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and run it, so I don't, run my big mouth. See what I showed here. So at first, when I picked the game, when I bought the game, I was going strictly to Ultimate Team. But then, I didn't know that they had a ranking online system. I didn't know that it was here, right? So in College 25, I'm just going to do this. Ultimate Team, I don't think I'm going to do that in College 25 because I think when Madden 25 comes out, I'm going to switch over to that. At least that's what I believe what I'm gonna do. So if I'm not gonna devote a lot of time in College 25, I don't see the point in going into Ultimate Team. Okay, so I may change my mind later. I don't know, but we'll see. So road to the CFP, and I promise it will not be this slow. So right now at this point I was 16-3 so far. Obviously, you guys know I play with USC because I use their playbook. That's one thing I do like about the game is I think when you pick a team in this format, you're stuck with the playbooks that they use. And I think that's kind of authentic. All right, so this is me running my offense, so I'm just going to go ahead and... for those of you who are in the member side, that's going to be the next play that I go over. HB seam there. We'll just move on. Oh, I remember this. So I shouldn't have threw this in here because this kind of pissed me off. So I missed the field goal. So anyways, he goes gun, wing, trips weak. And obviously, my thinking was, you know what, I'm going to go cover 3 match here. And I want to show you, what I'm going to show you throughout this video is you can, a lot of times it's better not to overthink things. Okay, where you make 1,000 different adjustments, and how many times have you done that and they snap the ball really quickly and you're kind of screwed on something? A lot of times it's better to play more of a simple defense but just be really good at executing in it, right? And one simple adjustment you can make, which is something that I always do when I'm playing like cover 3 match or cover 2, is I make shifts with my first and second level defenders, and it greatly makes the defense play so much better. All right, so the traditional alignments that they may have, there may not be nothing wrong with that, but against different formations, I like to shift to different fronts, and you will see that throughout the process of this video. All right, and I love to shift towards under. I'm going to show that later, but we'll go ahead and run it. So I think here, I don't remember what was run. Let's see here. I think he ran a strong side zone here. And he picked up a nice gain, which is fine. I think the first 3 plays are going to be pretty decent plays, and then like the rest of the video, I'm pretty much just shutting people down. Here I believe he ran again. So this is, okay, cover 3 match. So, the benefit of cover 3 match in College 25, when you play cover 3 match in Madden, it would match with 2x2 sets. But when you went to 3x1 like this, it would not match. Okay, so, but in college, they do match, which is something that I love. So when you play cover 3 match against trips, they will match. All right, I believe he's mess. I believe he's mess as well, pretty much. I'll have to make a video on this. All right, but pretty much these guys should be locked. Out or up, he should take them. Out or up, he should take them. This is bad diagramming here. I think he ran something like this. So they should match this. And the 3 is going to run something like that. I think he curls it. All right. So he should match. And I want you to watch how they play with proper leverage too. So we know that the divider is somewhere along here. And when you're playing some type of cover 1 man, which is what cover 3 match really does against a specific route, distributions. Like if they send 4 verts, it just changes into cover 1 man pretty much. All right, and notice how with this guy going up the field, he should play with inside leverage to kind of pin him towards the sideline because his safety is too far away to help him. Maybe I shouldn't go over that because the video would be too long, but definitely check out cover 1 man in my video list, and I go over the divider line. So we'll go ahead and play it. I think I fell here, which is, you know, me being stupid, and I could have filled inside to stop that run. So that's play number 2. I think this is the play that I was talking about with the 4 verts. Right, so they ran the 4 verts, and look at how he's inside leverage, which is perfect. He's outside leverage because his help is to the inside, and I'm buzzing for the number 3 coming this way, right? So the only person that's really open is the back, who gets he out leverages the curl flat to the inside, right? So, you know, I can live with that. That's fine. You know, and this is where we start picking it up. So I think this is where we get an interception. He's going to do some type of motion, and he's going to run out, and this guy's going to come in, and our outside receiver's going out. I think it's just pretty much 4 up the field. So he's really just looking for the back. Well, matter of fact, I don't think he was looking for the back. I think he was looking for something downfield. Didn't like what he saw, and then he tried to throw it late to the back. You're going to see the curl flat, pin back down, and overtake it for an interception. So me, I love to pick either safety in cover 3 match, even the deep middle third. And when I pick the deep middle third, I really favor the trip side because he should be able to handle this route. You saw how on this side of the field, you know, when the guy goes upfield, he really pins him to the sideline by playing inside leverage. So I'm really not too concerned about the backside when I'm playing cover 3 match. So, you know, it helps me to be a little bit more aggressive, especially on the 2 and the 3. So I believe that's what I did here. I was pinning over inside, and when I saw him cut inside, I'm like, all right, I'm going to cut this off. So the throw should be made here, deep outside throw. But, you know, a lot of opponents online, they're not going to see that. And he kind of got a little nervous there and threw that late for an interception. So just cover 3 match, working its magic. All right, so here's an example of what I'm talking about with the shift, all right? So we're going to see something here. So I'm shifting. Now we're going to get a 3 technique over here. I love to play more of like an under front. Now it's not truly under because I think, yeah, as you see how he's directly on the center. Usually an under would be like a 1 and a 3, okay? But when we shift like this, we get way more one-on-one opportunities on the backside with the pass rush. Okay, and I'll go ahead and play it. I think I cloned this again. We're gonna get a sack by our right end. Who gets in and makes the play, right? So notice how, you know, can you imagine if this guy wasn't here and he was, let me back up a little bit. If I stayed in this particular set, you know, he would be able to get some help in a lot of cases. You know, the center, obviously you could get a double team here, right? But he could pin off and help this guy if he were to fight inside, right? I watched the video. I can't remember the name of the video. I'm going to have to provide a link where I was listening to an offensive line coach, and I used to always wonder, you know, what's the difference if, you know, this guy goes inside and they're doubling him, and now he's one-on-one on the outside. What's the difference between that one-on-one and a one-on-one to where this guy is set here as opposed to here, right? Isn't he still one-on-one no matter what? And, you know, the answer really is no, because with this guy in here, you know, he knows that if he gets beat hard inside, he does have help to the inside to where he can peel off and help to seal that guy from attacking the B gap. As opposed to if someone's right here, right, and he's one-on-one with this guy, Well, now if this guy oversets and he beats him inside, you know, there is no guarantee that I could peel off and help because I'm stuck with this guy, right? Just a little minor thing like that kind of opened up my eyes when it came to one-on-ones up front in different fronts. I know that may not have made a lot of sense because I don't want this to be too long and I don't want to slow down things, but we get the sack, and I really do think that that front helped us to get that. Move on to the next play, and as we see, we're running cover 3 match again, and he had 2 dig routes coming from, again, he's on the boundary. He's running the formation into the boundary. I went over this in a video that I'm going to drop soon, and, you know, in most cases, they're trying to run routes back to the inside because they're too far close to the boundary. I mean, to the sideline, right? That's why I love to play a middle of the field closed defense, and cover 3 match kind of checks all the boxes for that. So he tries to roll outside, and that's my fault. I should have got an interception there. So maybe I'll just move on pretty quickly because this isn't looking too good here. Oh, okay, so I know what I did here. So let me back up just a little bit. So this was, what down is it, 3rd and 22. What I like to do, guys, this is something you can do or put in your game, where when it's 3rd and long, and I know you're just going to have to throw it, 4th and long or whatever, what I like to do is I like to disguise. I'm going to play cover 0, but I'm going to make it look like cover 3. Okay, and the reason why I think that that is really good is because obviously we know double high and single high. 4, 2, 2, 0, 3, 1. Okay, cover 4 in a lot of cases in alignment, it looks pretty similar to cover 0. All right, they're almost like, you know, sister and brother, right? Same thing with 2 zone and 2 man. The 2 deep safeties, they look real similar, right? And then you have cover 3 and cover 1. So it's almost like pairs and tandems. So when you come out in something that looks like single high, and it actually turns out to be something from double high, I think that that is really good in regards to disguising coverage and fooling somebody into making a mistake. Now, granted, you will be way out of position in a lot of different areas, but in a case where it's 3rd and 22 and you don't have a lot of options and flexibility with your passing offense, this is really good. So you'll see it here. I go shell cover 3, and I'm actually playing cover 0, so it looks like some type of single high. And what I do is I take the guy who's defending the back, and when we snap the ball and he sends the back out, I really just kind of ignore him, right? Because if you throw to the back in the flat, then we could just rally and make a tackle anyway. So I like to kind of hug in the middle. So I don't remember what I did here. Oh, I just backed up the coverage, and he made a bad throw to the outside on the corner route. And he quit right away. So we'll just move on to the next game. So it didn't count my thing yet because, oh, there it did. It did right there, 17 and 3. So hopefully this will get better. We'll just fast forward. So I don't remember if that guy scored, but we're just into the next one. I believe he ran counter here. So we're going to get some counter action. We did, and when I saw that, okay, you know, this is where you can make a bad play into a disaster. It would be a disaster, I think, for me to attack inside shoulder here, right? Because then he would just be able to bounce outside and potentially get a really big play, right? So I thought it would be better for me to attack outside shoulder of this offensive lineman or tight end or whatever he is, and force the back to have to work back inside to where I have inside help, right? So little things like that I think is important. Granted, I did it horribly, but I still wanted to take out the outside to force them back inside, right? So, I mean, that's the difference between a 30-yard play and a 40-yard play. Okay, so here I made another shift. And watch how with this shift, so when I shift, let me back up a little bit. This is really bad here. When I shift, I don't slant. right? I don't pinch the line, or I don't do anything different. It's just a shift and nothing else. And it provides a lot of benefits, I think, on defense, right? So as you see, we're kind of in the traditional front, but when I shift, they are still slanting to their original gaps. All right. So pay attention to this. He's going to slant over back into that A gap, right? Bum rush the center and almost push him right into the back, right? Just a simple shift can make your defense so much better, right? So I think, you know, if you... Okay, so now he goes to Wildcat, right? I think if you wanted to be a cover 3 team or a cover 1 team or a quarters team, it's good to understand the pass distribution, but I think if you learn what shifts would optimize how you play defense against different formations and etc., I think that can make your defense a lot better as well, right? So don't just think about the back end of the coverage. Think about the front and the shifts you can make to play better against different types of runs like inside zone and etc. Because again, your run fits are everything. And granted, it would take too long to learn every single run fit against, or how it plays against inside zone, this and that, you know. But I do think that if you get more comfortable making certain shifts against different looks, you can be a lot better on defense with your vanilla coverages like cover 3, cover 2, etc. Right? So he goes Wildcat, and you know I know a lot of people may struggle with Wildcat, so I wanted to showcase this. You know, I still remember back when the Dolphins bust out the Wildcat in the NFL, and their very first game they did it against the Patriots, and they destroyed them. I don't know how many points they got. I think they got like 28 points in that game. And, you know, it took the league by storm for a couple of years. And when you think about it, I read an article on that. I can never understand why it was so good for that limited amount of time. Okay, but when you think about it, let's say we have a traditional formation gun, right? These guys all have, let's say we're playing some type of cover 2, right? Will, Mike, say to N, 2A go. We're just going to put them here, and the nickel has this, right? So we have all of the gaps covered, and they run some type of, you know, inside zone, whatever, right? But when you run Wildcat, we actually add another gap, right? Because before, the quarterback was just handing it off to the back, right? Now, and when we look at that, what would we have? 3, 4, 5. We have 6 blockers in that situation. But now when we go to Wildcat, we don't have 6 blockers. We now have 7, right? Because now he's a potential blocker. And it adds a whole nother gap, right? So let's do this real quick. Right? It's something like that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I can imagine the amount of problems it presented for a team, especially if they didn't scout for that or they weren't expecting it, right? And the Patriots got destroyed in that game. And eventually the Wildcat kind of fell out of grace in the NFL, right? So let's take this guy. He's going to come out and just block this guy. And now we have another gap here, right? Now, granted, it's a lot more sophisticated. You have, you know, all the inside zone counter and all that, but I'm just giving you an example of how just a simple shift and where we don't have a traditional offense. We're running Wildcat. We're just adding an additional blocker, can add an additional gap that the defense does not have accounted for, right? Which is how Wildcat can give some people a lot of problems. So what I do when I run into Wildcat, my mentality is I'm going to blitz the shit out of it, right? I'm going to run straight cover 0 when I see Wildcat for the first time. And if you decide to actually throw from it, well, you know, you got me. You know, and that's if you can get the ball out in time. But I run cover 0 because I just want to plug in most of the gaps, and I want to fire down and kind of dictate that we're not going to wait for you to hit the hole or whatever, right? So we run cover 0, and he runs some gimmick play, and this guy's wide open, but he didn't throw the ball in time, and we get a sack. Okay, so against traditional runs, it would play it a lot better. But we just so happened to run into a guy who ran a passing play with that first, right? So he ran it again, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay in cover 0, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up my secondary and see if they play it a lot better, because they were fooled last time. And as you can see, now he's not wide open, right? So that can help if you got a guy running passing plays with this. What I'll do is I'll play cover 0 and I'll back up the secondary, right? So he didn't have enough time, and he gets rocked. And in this situation, what I noticed is this backside guy who runs for like this orbit action. I think from now on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to user the player on the backside play area, because he's usually the one that comes back on a motion. Okay? So then I can follow that motion and I can actually play this route a lot better, because I don't think the computer plays it right? As you see here, look, he's way out of position. He could have made this throw, but again, this is the benefits of cover 0, right? We just get right in his face and we get a turnover on downs. And he quit. So we'll move on. I was thinking this would be a lot better than what it seems, but hopefully it gets better. Move on to the next game. So he comes out in gun spread Y slot weak, and I think this is where I have it down here. He runs a quarterback keeper. And I think the reason why he did it is because I'm going to make a shift, right? So I'm going to shift back weak. Okay, and I think when he saw this, he has like he could keep the quarterback going this way on a zone option. With me tucked inside, this lane looks pretty open, right? But he's still responsible for this gap here. You're going to see he's going to stop the quarterback from peeling outside. So there's a lot of grass. He does a good job of keeping outside shoulder free, attacking, getting the quarterback down for a 4-yard loss. So I want you to watch this. Again, we are in cover 3 match. All right, and I believe, let's see what we have here. We have an in, we have a post, we have a go, we have a whip. And then I think he's going to the flat. All right. So in cover 3 match, how should we play this, right? He should play inside leverage and take him man-to-man. He should take him man-to-man. And I think Saban talks about, what does he call that? I don't remember the name. But if the divider line, let's say the divider line is here, how you position yourself is relative to where the divider is, even during the play, right? So pre-snap, let's say the divider line is here, right? Because you're outside of the divider, you should play with inside leverage on this player. However, if he breaks inside the divider line, that is where you should now transition more to outside leverage, right? Because you're playing to your help. I got to go back and read up on that, but I love listening to Nick Saban because, he was just a generational coach, right? So this whip route, you're going to notice how this whip route is just not open. And again, it's because we are playing with outside leverage with the curl flat in cover 3 match. I'll go ahead and play it so you can see it, but it's just not there, right? That's not there. That's not there. Deep middle safety. He's pinned to the sideline. All right, and the safety comes down from depth to take the back, come into the flat, and then we have a whole player, and he's playing with the outside leverage. There's literally nowhere to go in this play, just from calling cover 3 match. I didn't make any adjustments. He goes to the back, and we get him to 3rd and 16. So, I kind of noticed that, why do I have idiot here? Okay, so we have cover 3 match going. I think I'm playing the backside safety. I'm the 3-up player. Oh, I remember this. And I think he's going to run 4 verts, right? So I know why I put down idiot. Takes him. He should take him outside leverage. Deep middle safety. He's going to come across, and that's my guy. I should have leverage on this. Perfect call. And you're going to see the worst user ever. Okay, so this is an interception. And, you know, I'm just really bad. So I don't know what to say about that. All right, we'll move on. So, I mean, notice how I'm just sitting in cover 3 match, right? I want to watch that again. This is another, see, this is another thing. There's so much stuff to talk about with football. And I'm not at the top of the list in knowledge, but it's just things that I like to pass on to you guys. Just, so here's another example of how a front can just change everything in a defense, right? So when I shift to this front, let's just imagine, because he runs some type of inside zone, I believe. If this front stayed the way it was, right? So you can get him. We can get a double team on this guy, peel off and get him, right? And that changes when we make this shift. I shift the line to an underfront, okay? And then I shift the linebackers in. And what that does is it frees up the will linebacker in the box. This is why Lance Briggs of the Chicago Bears, what was the guy who played with the Buccaneers? Weak side linebacker. Derrick Brooks, I think it was. Okay, in their cover 2 systems, they would get so many tackles because, you know, the way they were set up, they would just funnel the action with the back to the free player in the box, and it would be the will, right? Little things like this to where this little shift frees him up in the box because, why don't we just go ahead and play it? Watch how they block this up front, right? You're one-on-one. The center is now, you know, dealing with the block here, and he's just a free player here, right? Actually, it would be better if he just attacked this. I was going to put him this way, but then we have a free backside linebacker to fill as well, right? Just from a little shift, right? Now, he does something stupid, and he kind of hesitates here. But we're able to make a play, 4-yard gain. So that's why I love shifting. Whenever I get the back offset this way, I always shift into an underfront this way. And then I tuck the linebackers in so I can free up the linebackers on a lot of different run action up front with like inside zone and etc. Because it's just almost impossible to double team this guy with this front, right? Imagine if the center came over to help on the double team here. Okay, that would put this right guard in a terrible bind with this guy being that far inside, right? You'd be able to make a play on the ball, right? Just this front alone makes it hard for you to double team this guy, so you get a lot more one-on-ones, and it's like a compound effect to where our linebackers are freed up in the second level, right? So we'll move on. I don't know what happens here. Like he runs that little whip again. Again, we're running cover 3 match, so he's taking them all out and up, and he has leverage on the outside breaking routes, right? It's one of the benefits of cover 1 and cover 3, right? If this is the divider, I want to play with outside leverage because my help is to the inside. So I don't remember what he did, and that should have been an interception. See what happens here. I almost picked that off. I like the animation here where we get them off the field, but of course he's going to go for it on 4th down. And he throws a bad incompletion. So here, okay, so here's another example. We get to 4th and 5 later. Here's another example of disguising coverage, okay? So I'm going to show a cover 3 shell, but I'm going to play cover 2 behind it with a hard flat. And I did this on purpose because I wanted to fool this guy, right? So this looks like cover 3. And in cover 3, the outer shell of the coverage here, okay, a lot of players want to attack the flats here, especially if this player doesn't widen. So at the snap of the ball, and you'll also see me move him further inside. I wanted to give the illusion that we were in cover 3 and that my curl flat player was tucked in the box so you could run something to the outside thinking that this guy was bailing, right? So disguising coverage and then moving a player. Watch what he does. Look, he took the bait, right? Look how he hot routes the second defender in. Because again, this looks like cover 3. You're tucked in the box. I could run something out and get a free completion for a first down. But it's a trap. Because what we're doing is we're rolling over the top of this guy, which allows him to be a lot more aggressive because we have him in a hard flat. And we're going to have him sitting, the apex here, sitting in between the core of the offense and the number 2, making it seem like he's supposed to widen out, but he's not, right? So it's just, I like combining certain disguise coverages with certain defenses in certain situations, and this is one of them. Like 4th and 5-ish, where I know guys want to just get the first down. This is a good call to have with the disguise with it. Cover 2, hard flat, disguise as a single high look. So if you're looking at this, right, you'd think, I got him. Right? Because he's sitting inside, he's going to whip out, and it's going to be open because this is cover 3. The problem is most players online, they're not confirming the coverage post-snap. You should have confirmed the safety, and if the safety stayed in the middle, that would confirm, okay, it's definitely cover 3 because no one's rolling over the top of this corner to help him, so there's no way he can jump this. But at the snap, when you see the safety flying over the top like this, that should alert you that, okay, there's help over the top here, which allows this corner to be aggressive. This is not cover 3. This is some type of trap cover 2, right? Or regular cover 2. He's trying to trick me. And I did. He throws it, and we lay the hammer, and we get a first down. When we don't get a first down, when we get turnover on downs, and this is where I'm like, okay, he pressed pause. He's going to quit. But he didn't. He wanted to stay in the fight, so I commend him for that. Look at us lay the hammer there. Love the animation there. So I'll go on offense, and I run a concept to get a touchdown right away. So this is stuff that I will go over on the member side with my offensive scheme from USC. We'll go over it here because it's more about defense. Fit it in the hole. And this is where he just had enough. So I think that's what 3 or 4 games where I didn't give up a touchdown, right? 19-3, or maybe I did in one of the games. I don't remember. So we'll move on to the next one. Let's see what I got here. I think, okay, he runs a reverse. And another benefit of cover 3 match, I like to play the backside. I play buzz match a lot, right? Sometimes I play regular match. But I like buzz match because we present split safety defense, right? So it disguises, and then we kind of rotate into the true coverage, okay? And obviously, I'm the 3-up player here as the buzz safety. So if this guy climbs over and goes inside, I know I have to take this route, okay? But if he goes out without the back going out, right? Back stays or something of that nature, then somebody else will take him, and it kind of frees me up. But when I see backfield action like this, I can really stay home. I don't have to chase it. And now we get the reverse, and now I'm not completely out of the play. Now, granted, I'm a terrible user at times. So look how I clicked off, and I try to click on late to make the tackle. But again, it's just a benefit of cover 3 match. And usering, here's another example. Yeah, I'm just a terrible user at times, guys. Because as a backside safety, you ran the RPO glance, and I don't have to chase the box like that. I could sit on the hash, and I could have intercepted this pass. And what's funny is that glance action, RPO glance, is good against double high. Because you want to put when you're playing like quarters and they have run fits, that action, he's filling the hole where the safety once was. So when we present, it's kind of funny how I was just talking about this. When we present a double high look, you may fool a person who, okay, I could run the RPO glance, expecting the safety to be aggressive on the run, and then he snaps the ball and he almost makes that fatal mistake there, right? But I don't think most players are running the glance option because they know it should be theoretically good against double high, but it's just something to think about. So he runs Wildcat here. I think, I don't know what happened here. I think this was the same player later. So I played against this guy earlier and he quit. And then later on I got him in another game. So it's kind of funny how when you quit against somebody because, you know, you don't like how the game is going, you go back in and you start playing again and you're playing against the same guy. So that's what happened here. And I think that's when I remembered and I looked at the name. I don't remember, but when I saw Wildcat and this looks like the same team, I'm like, okay, he's probably doing the same deal. He might actually throw the ball again. So this is where I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll play cover 3 and see what he's trying to do. Snaps the ball, throws an interception, and we just take it to the house. So we're back at it, and he runs Wildcat again. So I'm like, all right, I'll just play cover 3 match again. Shouldn't be good against the run, but you know, I want to see if he's going to actually run it first. So we bite hard on this, which is something I don't like. So what I think is you have to back up coverage against stuff like this so they don't bite on that. And I guess he panicked and he didn't put enough air on the ball, and I intercepted it. So I mean, looking at he quit. So, you know, I mean, I've been playing nothing but cover 3 match. Like 98% of my play calls have been cover 3 match. You don't even, I mean, you know, I'm just telling you, like, you don't have to be so sophisticated on defense for most of the players that you play. You can really play a simple defense. I like to play cover 3 match because if they come out in 4 strong, if they come out in trips, okay, it will still match. What I've noticed with cover 4, I've noticed some breakdowns with cover 4, which I don't like. And I've also noticed that, you know, when they go 4 strong, it just checks into a vanilla spot drop zone, which is horrible, right? So cover 3 match has been the defense that I've played probably the most now. That doesn't mean that I'm going to walk away from cover 4. I'm still a split safety guy, but I've just been playing a lot of cover 3 match lately, all right? So here I think we get an interception. So this was the next game. And as we see here, we get an interception. Our backside player makes a great play. So this is what we have here. All right, so curl flat. So what should happen here? I believe I put him man-to-man on this guy by accident because I thought it was 4 strong, and I just wanted to make sure that he manned it up. So when I did that and I noticed that there was a 2 here, I kind of panicked here. And this is where we kind of get a breakdown in coverage. Because this guy is the curl flat, so I was thinking if he goes vertical, then he should take this route. Right? So I thought, okay, I'm still free. I could play inside. But he didn't take the route. But the benefit is, I mean, this is the problem with people online, guys. He's running 2 routes to the same location, right? This is poor spacing. So essentially, our guy playing man-to-man on this guy eliminates 2 routes because of poor route distribution, right? So, you know, this is where, you know, I don't know, guys. I mean, that's just what guys do. Right, this is where playing straight up man-to-man I think would be bad. He quit right away. I mean, he had enough already. So I think I only got 2 more plays here. Because this is way too long. I thought that this would be good information. Okay, so here's a good one. Against closed sets like this, I have a video on this. I believe last year I had a series on defending gun tight. I have a part 1, part 2, part 3. Because remember, in Madden they had a gun tight craze where that's what everyone played, etc. So you know, I put videos together to show how I would approach defending gun tight, and I showed some plays out of you know, professional team playbooks. So definitely go check that out. And you know, the concepts are still the same, right? If you're gonna try to tuck the formation in on some now granted he's still outside over here, okay, but they're tucking in these receivers so they can have more space to run routes to the outside. So why not play a defense that tries to leverage the outside of these receivers, right? So that's why I play cover 3 cloud here. As you see, what do we have? A guy breaking to the outside. Well, guess what? We have that out leverage to the outside. You can't throw that. And then this guy's going to run to the outside. He's going to play outside leverage on this and get an interception. So definitely go check out my video on gun tight. I dropped that last year. So this is where we get kind of like really nasty. This is the last two plays. All right. So I'm playing cover 3 match. And I man up. So this is what I'm talking about. 4 strong. Okay. And I dropped a video on cover 3 match against 4 strong. I don't know if that will be public yet, but it will be soon. But we do match while playing against 4 strong in cover 3 match. I believe he plays mess on this guy. He plays mess on the 2. And then we kind of get a bracket going here on the back and the tight end where we distribute the route. So if this guy goes deep out and goes this way, then you would take the flat and I would be forced to take the out. So that would be a way to attack us in this. But if we get something like this, then he should take that and I will pin down and take the over. So definitely go watch my video on that. But I put this guy in man because I wanted to make sure, because I think he doesn't actually play mess on the backside in 4 strong. I don't remember, but I wanted to make sure that he did. And he's going to run a burst corner here. And watch how he gets open. All right. And I don't know why I thought of this on the fly. I remember the video I made last year on bracket coverage and how it's actually coded into the game when you double a receiver. So definitely go watch that video I made last year and you're going to see exactly how I get an interception based upon that logic and me remembering it. All right. So I knew he ran no huddle, right? So I know you're going to do the same exact thing, right? Burst corner. And what did we see? We saw our corner man to man get beat to the outside. All right. So this is where I'm like, you know what? How about I double this guy? So I'll put him man to man. And then I'll take the backside safety, me, and put him in man to man on the wide receiver. And what this does is it changes the logic of this corner. Instead of him playing the way he did before, now he thinks he has help to the inside. And he will play underneath and to the outside of this receiver, right? So when we get a route like this, now he's going to play underneath and to the outside, right? So I was thinking I'm going to do that. So if he runs that route again, he will be in better position for that. And I can still keep my responsibility on the number 3, right? So if he were to change him and make him go up the field on a post, then I would have to hinge on that and I could get potentially screwed if he had it over here, right? Because then this would be wide open with him underneath and to the outside and I would be forced to kind of honor the over, right? Or I had to stay over the top of this and the over would be wide open. But I just knew that he was going to run the same route. It's 28-7. He's frustrated, right? So I put in this logic here, and we're going to get an interception off of this. Look how you see how he sits flat at the snap of the ball? Because he's going to play underneath and to the outside because he expects us to the inside due to us doubling that guy and changing the logic of the corner. And what do you know? He throws it, and we're underneath that, and we pick off the ball. So go check out my video on bracket coverage. He quits. So, you know, I just, you know, showed you, I think, what, like 5 or 6 games where, I mean, people were just quitting. They couldn't score. They were having trouble. And what did we do? We just sat and cover 3 match the whole game. Right? You don't have to get too sophisticated in your defense. You could just make certain shifts, get into an underfront, free up your linebackers for the run. I should have showed a lot more running plays where I was just stuffing the run, okay? Because once you stuff that and you force players to have to throw the ball and are not comfortable doing it, you know, you can get a lot of success in the game. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you got something from this video, and I hope it wasn't too long, man. Peace.